Hello, I'm Jackie Dayberry, and I'm the president of Wind River Microbes. I'll be walking you through this presentation today. Please allow me to share a little bit about Wind River Microbes and what it is that we do. First off, we're the stewards of our lands. It is our responsibility to take care of our ecosystems. It is our responsibility to use the tools that God gave us to sustain our lands. But you ask, what tools are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about microbes. All these microorganisms are living tools that we can use to our benefit if we manage them properly. You know, the fascinating fact about microbes is that on one hand, they can actually make us sick, but on the other hand, they can heal us. And it works the same way in all of our ecosystems, including our soils. Today I want to talk about the soil ecosystem and the role these microbes play. Just a fun fact, did you know that 1 teaspoon of soil contains over 1 billion microbes? So what does that mean? What are the functions of microbes in the soil, and how do plants benefit from these? These are just a few of the functions of microbes in soils. But let me give you a little better picture of these functions, and let's look at, say, how nitrogen is cycled. Microbes are the life in soils. They decompose organic matter into rich carbon sources. They degrade pollutants and contaminants. And most importantly, they cycle nutrients out of the atmosphere into the soil. They convert the nutrients into plant usable forms. What I mean by this is, for example, in this picture, here we're showing a nitrogen fixation process. Microbes will actually extract nitrogen from the air. They take it down into the soil, convert it into ammonium nitrate, and then any of that is not used goes right back into the air for recycling again. Now, phosphorus is a different story. Phosphorus is not easily solubilized, but microbes, due to their electrical conductivity, can also bind phosphorus. The key to optimal root growth in any plant is a proper balance of bacteria to fungi in the soil. First, let's define the soil ecosystem. Our biologicals plus our environment are what make up an ecosystem. So remember in the previous slide I just showed you, I showed you how microbes cycle nitrogen out of the air. So now let's talk about the key components that provide those services. We're going to talk about bacteria and fungi. First, we're going to discuss bacteria. Most people, the common sense of people when they hear the word bacteria, they think of something bad. In soils, just as it does in your body, when the bad bacteria outnumber the good bacteria, plants get sick and diseased. When this happens in humans, we take antibiotics to kill the bad bacteria. And when a plant gets sick, most people will apply chemicals or something like that to fix the problem. But did you know that soils can actually fix their own problems in most cases if they have the right tools? So what do I mean by that? Some bacteria have the ability to transfer genes through a process called horizontal gene transfer. This process allows the good bacteria to transfer their DNA to other bacteria, even bad ones, to defeat the pathogen. And what you get is a natural antibiotic. This is what our formulas provide. The bacteria in our formulas are able to work with indigenous microbes anywhere in the world to help propagate a beneficial soil environment. Now here are some real examples of what a proper microbe balance can do. You can see the difference in root growth in young wheat plants on the left. And you can see the difference in growth in the two other pictures, which happen to be squash and elderberry trees. So that gives you an idea of what a balanced bacteria population can do. Now let's briefly talk about fungi, in particular mycorrhizal fungi. Mycorrhiza is the sticky stuff in soils. It binds directly to roots and is the gatekeeper for bacteria carrying nutrients. It creates aggregate clusters in sandy soils that help hold water. Yes, sand can hold water if it has the right tools. These fungi grow into very, very large and vast systems, as you see here in this second picture. Now here you can see the soil on both of these plants is bound to the roots. This is the protection around them. This is the result of the mycorrhiza around the root systems. Remember, it's the sticky stuff. Now here's a microscopic view of a root hair. All of this white line surrounding this root is mycorrhiza, which protects the root. And you can also see the microbial entry zone here. So in this next slide, I'm going to show you microbes that are actually carrying nutrients and fixing to enter into the plant. So right here, the cloudy looking stuff is the bacteria. And there again, the mycorrhiza are the gatekeepers for this. And these bacteria that are fixing to enter this plant root are carrying nutrients or food for that plant. So they do enter into the root system and they do circulate through that root system, and then they eventually will leave. Germination rate when microbes are applied greatly increases, and they are directly tied to a balanced ecosystem. When you have a proper balance of bacteria to fungi, seeds not only germinate faster, but the roots grow faster and healthier and ultimately cost less money. Why and how? Why? Because you don't need as many inputs to correct deficiencies and problems. The soil is able to correct itself because it has the proper tools. Now, many people ask if our products are environmentally friendly because so many ag inputs aren't. Too many chemicals wind up in our rivers and lakes, and they cause all kinds of problems. All of our nutrients are naturally sourced from plants, soils, and animals, which means that they are 100% natural. We have simply pulled natural microbes out of the environment, we've meshed them together so their functions are optimized, and we bottle them. It's that simple, and they do work. I'm going to leave you with a brief video of me so you can better understand why I do what I do. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to having you as one of our valued customers. God gave us this land for a reason, and it is our responsibility to take care of it.
Farmers are facing struggles right now. Processing plants are shutting down. Meanwhile, some ranchers are making hard decisions about animals they really can't afford to sell or feed right now.
The extreme drought in Oklahoma this summer has caused problems with the state's soil.
We need to be good stewards of the land for future generations. When it comes to our soils, I think they're very important. I'm passionate about agriculture in general because I know that that's how we feed the world. I keep looking back at some of these experiments that I've seen done where they're taking a tissue culture of a goat or a tissue culture of a calf and growing it in a petri dish. I'm not into that. You know, I like it all natural. It's healthier for us. We have less health problems down the road. For me, that's extremely important, is to take care of our soils and the methods in which we grow food. You can't create enough GMO stuff in a petri dish to feed this world. So stewardship is something that I am very, very passionate about. And I look back to history, and our soils used to be fertile soils and You could stick a knife in the ground just about anywhere you walk. Now we've got so many problems with our soils, and a lot of it is man-created. You know, we've created it ourselves, but a lot of it is environmental. You know, our rainfall situations and that type of thing have a lot to do with it. Our soils are what grow our food, they grow our livestock, they grow what we eat. The whole key is balance. You got to have balance in nature, you got to have balance in your soils, you got to have balance in your gut, you got to have balance in your life, period. Stewardship is all about taking care of what God gave us, keeping it profitable and usable for years to come for future generations. You've got to have a good balance of microbes, and that is what we do.